Hello, everyone. Welcome to Development Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, coming to you from the Drew Estate Studio. With me today is Jiunn Liu, Seth Geis, John McTavish. How you guys doing?
All right.
Doing well.
So today we are talking about the RoMa Craft Craft 2020. Cigar is a Corona Gorda 5 3/4 by 46. Comes out of the Fábrica de Tabacos Sueño factory in Nicaragua. Interesting review. There's various combinations of wrappers on these cigars, so we all had different ones. So this will be an interesting type of review for that. Binder and filler are both undisclosed, blended by Skip Martin and Esteban Disla. Our price point is $12.50. Cigar was released in June of 2020, and we were kind enough to be able to purchase these through Michael's Tobacco in Texas. So be sure to check them out.
Thank you, Bear.
That's right. Thank you, Bear. So with all that out of the way, Jiunn, take us through your overall experience with this cigar.
It was average for me. Do we all get the same?
No,
No? Oh, completely.
different combinations.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, so mine was, I know we try to pick the simpler looking ones, but
Yep.
like mine had like a Colorado Claro wrapper shade that was probably like the first, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 inches.
Mhm.
And the remaining of that cigar was like, I guess, like Colorado Maduro-ish kind of a color. So,
Right.
Wrapper, of course. So, given that, when I first started smoking a cigar, a surprising amount of red pepper. It's not overbearing by any means, but just a lot more substantive than what I typically find within that kind of a wrapper. A lot of baking spices, leather, roasted nuttiness helps to break up that earthiness and spice. But one of the things that I knew about the cigar, for the most part, that flavor profile that I just talked about was essentially what it was the whole time. And at times it got spicier, more leather. But this was, for me, an incredibly strong cigar. By the time I got through it, within the last third, it made me pretty lightheaded, and I haven't felt like that in a cigar in quite a while. But in terms of flavor profile, it's average. I mean, I'll stick to my Neanderthals in terms of what is RoMa Craft.
All right, Seth, what were your overall thoughts?
I mean, it's what would Coop call it? A gimmicky cigar. I mean, I think it's a collector's. The sample I had, which just had 2 wrappers, I think it was probably Ecuadorian Connecticut and Connecticut broadleaf or Mexican San Andreas. Didn't really produce a wowing flavor profile. It was kind of lacking. But it was pretty consistent from beginning to end. I mean, you got some change in the profile, obviously, when there was the wrapper change to the Ecuadorian Connecticut. But I think it's important to stress that with something like this, if you don't give it a very good rating in terms of pre-light, then you don't know what you guys are talking about, because this is very good. And John gave it a good, and I just don't. You're going to have to explain some more logic to me,
John.
on this one. But I think I don't buy cigars to. Well, we'll wait and do that at the end.
All right, John, what were your overall thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, I'd say I'm sorry there was too much Manbacco for June. I mean, that's unfortunate, but it happens. Sorry, I love Skip and I love the presentation, but there's no band, bro. If there's no band in the cigar, how can you be very good? Like I get it, bands cost money, but like no band, no very good. That's just how the surgeon
Did this
rolls.
come in a coffin?
No.
No coffin.
No.
No.
No
Nothing?
coffin.
No.
No.
Just
So
a
even
box.
the art
box.
of the wrapper.
Listen, man, it was artistic as shit. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. I love the presentation, but no band. Surgeon just can't bump you up to the very good. Not that the pre-light matters
No
for anything,
ticket.
as we've said many
Doesn't
times
seem
before.
very craft to me.
But what matters is that unlike the cohorts here, I had a good experience. You're welcome. I also got like June. It was really baking spice forward, not pepper, but like really really intense baking spices out of the hopper. But it was good. It was my palate really enjoyed that. Nice cedar powdered cocoa. Cocoa and the baking spices really harmonized in an interesting way. Got a little bit of tannins, but not unpleasant. I'd say it just kind of provided an offset flavor to what was already there. And then second third was more of a cocoa driven profile with some graham cracker and baking spices. So that was really, really enjoyable. And then, unlike a lot of cigars, I really kept that complexity through that last third. And I think that's what shone for me is that, really graham cracker forward in that last third. So really, really tasty. I'm sure that Skip's going to light me up because, unfortunately, the cigar went out for me. Sorry, like, I don't, it could be I was smoking too slow. I don't know, but it went out. It was burning like a champ until it went out. So, my bad. Draw was slightly resistant, which you could definitely argue in a 46 ring gauge is exactly where you want the draw to be. So I look forward to getting lit up about that. But my experience was good, and I would happily smoke these again. It was a good experience through and through. Aaron?
Yeah, for me, the cigar started off well, but once it hit that kind of wrapper transition, profile lost a little bit of steam, became a bit drying, kind of maintained that level the rest of the way. I was interested in hearing all of your thoughts since we had different kind of wrapper combinations. So I might be up for trying a different wrapper combination, maybe what John had, since he had the one that kind of stood out from the group. I also had to do a relight and a touch up on the cigar, so you were not by yourself on that one, John.
That's nice. So Skip can send his hate mail to you and not me.
There you go.
I'm okay with that.
Price point's a little bit high. I don't know. When we got the chance to choose this, I stayed away from the ones that had the little kind of additional spirals on them. I wanted to try to keep it as simple as possible so that we wouldn't have too many crazy stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. Slightly above average. Let's get in the score. Start at the top with John at 6.82. Jiunn gave it a 5.90, and then Seth and I both gave it a 5.65. So, John, how'd that 6.82 match up for you?
It was 2 hours and 12 minutes of Manbacco delight, and, I was thoroughly thrilled to be able to review a good cigar because, I can't say there's been a lot of cigars that got to that point this year for me, so
Right.
Thank you, Skip.
All right, Jiunn, 5.90.
That was average. I mean, I don't like RoMa Craft aside from some of that Wonderlust stuff that they do and Neanderthal. I think there's so much of this of RoMa Craft for me that tastes like ashy, burnt, charred. I just don't like that note and leathery. You don't even like that note, John. So how did you even like this cigar? You know what I mean?
I didn't really get a lot of that leathery component.
Yeah, you did.
Well, I mean, like when I say leather, you can have a leather component that sort of sits below the profile, and it acts as like an anchor for the flavor. And then you can have leather that is palate forward, and leather that's palate forward just takes. I mean, it's such a dominant flavor for me that it takes over, and I don't enjoy that. I didn't find that happened on this cigar for me. So,
man, that is the best. I'm buying that one, John. You sold me on that one right there.
Yeah,
that's it.
Seth,
It's like as opposed to like you can get slapped in the face with a leather belt, or you can chew on the leather belt.
There you go.
that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Seth, 5.65.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't blown away by it. I don't think that the wrappers are going to make a huge difference and make me think like, ooh, this one's going to give it a 6.75. But I think like I'm not at that stage of my life anymore where I'd like buy a box of these and hold on to them for years, and then you're like, what the hell did I do this for? I think if I was if I was at an event, I might buy a box, but I'd probably smoke them all and not share them just because you'd want to smoke them and see that experience. But quality craftsmanship by his rollers, so you have to give him props on that.
Yeah, my 5.65 matches up well. I mean, a slightly above average flavor profile. Some burn issues with it, but kind of dropped it down. Otherwise, I would have been up where Jiunn was at. But yeah, probably not something I'm really going to go back to. Any other final thoughts from you guys on this one?
Weasel Team 6 for life? I don't know.
Aren't the boxes like really... Aren't they like wrapped? Isn't there like a little metal casing around the wooden box? Did you get a box of these, or you just?
No, I think that was the last. I think it was the previous craft that had the little metal band kind of around it.
Yeah, whatever it was. Yeah,
I think this was just kind of a simple wooden box that had some count. The various wrappers. You had these that were like two different solid colors, various, and then you had a couple that had like some spirals on the towards the foot side of it. I think so.
It's a cool idea. I mean, it's interesting. I don't think there's anybody else that's. Well, that's not true. There's one other company that I know of that's put out cigars that have been different cigars in the same box, but it's a cool concept.
Yeah.
I mean, LaFleur's done it, haven't they? Well, no, they just have different wrapper combo. Yeah.
All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, you be sure to subscribe to us. So also check out the full written review on the website, developmentpalace.com. You can also check out the pictures for each of us to see which wrapper combination we had to go along with our scores. You can also catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.